Good evening, everybody. We'll let a few more people get here and we will get ripping. It's starting to howl outside. I can hear the winds picking up and the trees are moving outside. And we get gusts here and I can hear the rooftops rattle a little bit. Yes, it's blue shit time. Here we go. So the advisory just came out from the National Hurricane Center, the 5 o'clock advisory. Still have a Cat 5. Current pressure is down to 906 millibars. Um, Winds up to about 175 miles an hour. Forecast is continue to track to the northwest slowly over the next 6 to 12 hours, and then turn to more to the northeast as we get in toward tomorrow morning. It will make a landfall at Cat 5. One of the things interesting. We talked about this 2 days ago. We talked about it yesterday multiple times. The 12Z, as the hurricane models continue to have updates from the hurricane flights in the data, it says, "Hey, what's your pressure now? What's your intensity?" It looks at the environment ahead of the system with the trough coming out of the United States, Southeast US, the upper ridge breaking down just over and near and north of Jamaica. That's starting to break down this afternoon. There's gravity wave clouds. You can see the pressure continues to tank. One thing of interest has got just almost a mid Cat 5, 12 hours, 18Z to run. So it's a little after midnight. So we're still got a Cat 5. It's making some models, have a 5 longer, depending on the track, right? But majority of them say tomorrow morning it's making landfall as the mid Cat 5. We're going to see winds at the surface, 10-meter winds, 150, 60 miles an hour at surface, gust over 200 miles an hour. Some of the models, the looked out here this afternoon, they again, at this point it's not going to matter what they say or what they show in the sense of how low they get, but you can't ignore that some of the models are continuing to drop the intensity on down as it continues to make landfall. This particular model here, HERS A, it's one of the tops, not the only one. It's one of the top performing models so far for this event, even maybe even beating or close to the Google AI DeepMind track and intensity. It says by tomorrow morning, 12Z still has it offshore slightly. It's got down to 904 millibars, winds 162 knots. That's going to be about 180 miles an hour sustained gust of probably 200 plus, maybe 220. And as it continues to come ashore, you're just almost 900 millibars, 905, 906. It's going to come back. We're down at Black River today. Earlier today, we sent some video out. That's about where it's going to make landfall. It's going to track very near where I'm located here at Santa Cruz. It's going to go west of me about 8 to 10 miles. The hurricane force winds, the core right now, currently, the hurricane force winds go out about 30 miles northeast and about 30 miles northwest. That's going to continue as it makes landfall tomorrow, and as it continues to track to the northeast. So that's going to be the general consensus as this thing continues to move to the north. Currently, there's a couple hurricane missions en route to the hurricane. We'll have new updated a little bit. One of the hurricane missions earlier today had a abort the actual flying in the eye because they had some technical issues, probably with the extreme wind and shear. So they had to board it after they just passed the eye and earlier this afternoon. So they got two more heading that way now. This thing's already broke a lot of records. It's got the driest eye. I can tell you this afternoon. There's mesovorticity eyes looped around here. This thing is when you have real deep tornadoes like this, or excuse me, hurricanes, they're going to produce also very short-lived, very intense, damaging tornadoes in the eye wall. So now that we have the hurricane, we're going to have damaging tornadoes in the eye wall. This is notorious. This kind of deep pressure, and especially when the eye wall starts making and approaching the coast tomorrow morning. Now you're going to have the feeder bands. You're going to have the shear, and we get the friction, not only the mountains but also the land surface area. You're going to start spinning up tornadoes in the outer ring bands, and you're going to have damaging winds. You're going to have embedded tornadoes in the outer ring bands as well. as this core eye, let's talk about 20 miles either side of this, especially from just barely west of the eye, maybe 10 miles to about 25 miles east of the eye, where this core eye, but once it makes its slow jog to the northwest, it comes bends north, and then it's going to start moving northeast tomorrow morning, and get a little bit more intense. As that happens, what's going to happen is the or approaches. And I don't have a good way to show you this. There is let me pull up another map here. There is, as the core winds approach the coastline, the hurricane force winds go out about, again, about 30 miles northeast of the center line. And so we're going to have hurricane force winds onshore well before sunup. That's immediately to my south here and southwest where I'm currently located, and that's going to create problems. So you're going to have hurricane force winds making landfall, before dark, or as before sunrise, I should say, and so that's going to be an issue. So we're going to have several hours of that. Looks like the hurricane force winds will reach the coast probably about 4 a.m. Based on the current location of the forecast. Let's go over here to the actual. Here's another thing. Let's look at this on the. I need to find my forecast advisory. There we go. So as it's approaching the coast here, um, this is current 906 millibars. Didn't tell you what's going to be later. It's going to be, I think it's going to drop another 4 or 5 millibars. I think we could be sub 900, but we're going to be very close to 901, 902, is what it looks like its final is going to be. And as this comes out, we're going to see to the northeast here. Look at my winds, hurricane force plus 25 northwest, 30 northeast. So the center point's just about offshore there at about 7 a.m. And so if I extrapolated 30 miles northeast, I'm going to be under hurricane force winds by at the same time it's making landfall at 7 down there. I'm going to be at Santa Cruz all the way west over here, west of me. From Santa Cruz south by 7 a.m., 6 a.m., we're going to have hurricane force winds. And those winds are going to continue to ramp up from 75, 100 miles an hour, probably in the 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Now, I'm inland about 10 miles from the coastline. So on the coastline, you're going to have hurricane force winds technically probably starting at 3 in the morning, 3 to 4 in the morning. And as we get closer to right after daybreak, and it continues to track up to the northeast before it makes landfall, there's going to be the super destructive winds. I'm going to call it the core eye wall as that approaches the coast, and that should be moving on shore. Best estimate right now, I'm going to call it 8, 9 a.m. The core winds are making onshore here. And let's go to a Google map here. This is where I'm at right now, Santa Cruz, excuse me, Santa Cruz. And the area you're going to see, we were down here earlier, Treasure Beach, that area. And then you got the Black Spring Point back down in here. One of the things you're going to notice is that when it does make landfall down here, you're going to see the hurricane force winds come north up through here. And the Treasure Beach area. So as it makes landfall in this general area right here, before daybreak, you're going to have 75 to 125-mile-an-hour winds coming ashore Junction, all the way over here to Queensman, Flagman, Treasure Beach, Watchman. I was all over this area this morning, Mountainside, as those core winds start coming up here. Again, that's going to be Top Hill, Junction, Nathan, Cutters. You're going to be under hurricane force winds by 7 a.m. in this area. And they're going to only, because remember that winds go 30 miles northeast to 30 miles northwest of the center track. So that is going to be you're going to be under hurricane force winds once that happens. And then as we get to 8 to 10 and the eye moves on shore, it generally in this general area here, Treasure Beach and back west here, as that core winds come on shore, you're going to have just massive destruction here. So what I want people to do is when that happens, um, we don't have like weather radio here in Jamaica that I'm aware of, like we do in the stateside. So as you get toward that 7, 8, 9 o'clock time frame, especially along the coastline, you've got to move to the interior part of your house. If you have tubs to get in, a lot of people have showers here, but if they have tubs, yeah, I'd get helmets on. I got helmets with me. I'm putting them on. I'm literally in my stairs. I'm putting my helmet on. Stay away from all the windows and doors. Depending if you're to the right of the track or left of the track, the winds are going to do two things. They're going to be two different different directions, same time. So if the eye's coming up at you and you're to the right, your winds as it's approaching the coast, you're going to have this deep 100-mile-an-hour wind coming in from the northeast, northeast and east. And as the eye, the center, think of it like sucking a straw, like you're drinking a milk or a Coke or something, right? And as the center comes in, everything flows into that center of where that vortex is, and that where it's going. So depending on which way you are from the center, right, the winds are going to come out of a different direction, right? If you're to the left of the hurricane track of the eye, your winds are going to be north northwest, and they're going to increase well over 100 miles an hour. And so you got to think about where you live, and you got to think about your house, and you got to think about telephone poles, which I've got them literally out the door here, trees, which are all over Jamaica, right? Trees, power lines everywhere. You got to think about your neighbor's house and which way those things are going to go flying, whether it's south, southeast, or to the south. If the hurricane's going to track west of your location, even by 5 or 4 miles, there's a real tight gradient, and the winds will change out of the north northeast. If it's due south of you, they may come out of the northwest and north, and then slowly bend to the northeast. And as that core approaches you, you're going to have probably about 3 hours of probably winds 150 gusting to 200 miles an hour. Your ears are going to pop. You're going to, it's you're going to feel pressure, and on your. And a lot of people have even had nosebleeds and things like that when this kind of things happen. This low pressure comes to you, but I would stay away from the windows and doors at all cost. The missile debris, even little small. One of the things I noticed down here, just a little bit of gravel on the road, anything on the roof. It could be a little screw. Matter of fact, someone here, well, like he's the guy I'm staying with. He's in construction. He's an electrician guy. This is an anchor. That's a like a concrete anchor. Just little projectiles, doesn't have to be nothing that big, just little projectiles of anything like this that comes off a house, off the road, those kind of things. When you take winds of 150, 200 miles an hour, this is like a bullet. Okay, you don't want to be nowhere near your doors and windows. You want to be actually as low as possible, even possibly even lay down in your house. You don't want to be up. You got to worry about trees falling. Do you have big, tall trees? There's a lot of bamboo trees down. There's a lot of big trees down here in Jamaica, right? Lots of moisture, light heat. There's big trees. Which way are those trees going to fall? They're going to fall on your house. You got to think about this thing, but keep in mind where the track goes. You got to think about what's around your house. Think 360, and which way is this stuff going to fall, right? And so as the eye passes, obviously don't go outside when the eye passes and you get in the calm. But as you go around it, the winds are gonna come abruptly around to the southeast and then south as it's passing you, and it'll pick up speed as we get into mid to late morning as it's moving off the north coast of Jamaica on over to Cuba. So as that happens. Um, don't go outside. There's going to be power lines down. A lot of power's already out, but you're going to have um, in a lot of neighborhoods and a lot of towns out here that get hit. You're going to have roofs that come off. You're going to have roofing debris. You're going to have shingles and nails, and you're going to have tack nails and screws. And these are going to be in the road. They're going to be in the neighborhoods. They're going to be everywhere by the millions. Okay, millions. These little things right here, nails and tacks. These are going to create tens of thousands of flats. The days after the hurricane, besides all the potholes in Jamaica, that creates a lot of flats and blowouts. We'll talk about that later. Um, so my best advice is stay in the lowest floors. Do not stay upstairs. Stay away from all windows and doors. Get in the center of the house when the core winds come in. Even before they get in, come in at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning. If you're along the coast, stay in, and the wind's going to pick up, and it's going to be scary, right? I mean, this is a major hurricane, extremely high end, mid Cat 5. This is like a record breaking Cat 5, right, for Jamaica. So as that happens, just think about those kind of things. And again, there's going to be an urge. You may not want an urge to see the eye. Some people do, some people don't. But especially don't let the kids go outside. Don't let them run around. And let's say this hurricane pulls out, depending on where you live in Jamaica, it may be over here in Santa Cruz in this general area in the coast. As we get into like mid afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, I may see the sun starting to clear in the southwest skies before dark, right? So you don't want to go outside because there's going to be wires down, there's going to be screws, there's going to be sheet metal, there's going to be wood, broken glass everywhere, right? If you're in a small community, or even like the small community, maybe it has a couple hundred buildings in it, right? And the roofs are ripped off. You don't want to go out because there's just going to be debris everywhere. Lots of trees down. So let it pass. And then as we get into Wednesday morning, standard operation, both for Jamaica and uh, possibly U.S. Coast Guard and other services, they're going to start doing flyovers, and then there'll be messages going to command centers across the island of either injured people, those kind of things. So text and those kind of things, and WhatsApp is very important here on the island. So if you have anybody that's injured, obviously they're not going to come out during the height of the storm when the winds are up. Text a loved one, tell them, hey, I got a situation here. Give us your line, where you're located, preferably either an address or things like that. But those are the kind of things that emergency services needs to know if you have something that's happened to you or a family member, right? If you're injured or you need to get to a hospital services. So as we get into Wednesday, I fully expect the skies to be clear. The hurricane is going to be well gone by Wednesday here, pulling out. We're going to have clear skies, sunny skies here. And as that happens, you're going to be able to start going out and assessing the situation. But keep in mind, I expect a wide swath. It could be well over 100 miles wide, 100 to 125 kilometers wide, a large swath of extreme damage as far as lots of trees down, power lines down over a massive area across Jamaica. Like this is not a rural small area that's going to have a problem, right? It's going to be a big chunk of Jamaica. I can tell you based on LICE data too, which is going to get people a little bit nervous when I make this assertion here, because the models have went just a tiny on the current satellite. It's went maybe another 10, 15 miles farther west than we thought this morning on the track. So based on that, at Montego Bay, you're going to have some storm surge out of the northwest. You need to prepare for that. You're also going to have damage at Montego Bay, but all on the North Shore there, you got St. Brownsburg, I'm not going to say all these names right, Fairmount, the Seven Sands Public Beach, the Runaway Bay, St. Anne's Bay, all those areas up in the North Beach. You're going to be either in the Northeast Eyewall, the North Eyewall, Northwest Eyewall. As that's leaving, you're going to have storm surge, you're going to have catastrophic damage. But again, don't just focus on catastrophic damage. It's not just Santa Cruz. It's not just here. You're still going to have some storm surge at Kingston. You're going to have wind damage at Kingston. You have power outages at Kingston. We're still got this 35 to 45 inches of rain over the Blue Mountains, over the eastern side of Jamaica. You're going to have massive mudslides over the whole island. Mudslides, rock slides. Um, it's going to be all over the whole island. Matter of fact, I fully expect it's going to break records. And you're going to have record landslides, and they're going to be big ones. And there's going to be a bunch of them. And I can't tell you where they're going to be. I have no idea. I know what history's proven, and they're wide across the area. The normal areas you're going to flood, you know what they are if you're local. Avoid those areas at all costs. Do not venture out at night. Even during the day, I wouldn't venture out on anytime Tuesday or even Wednesday. It's going to take emergency service 3, 4, 5 days to get us help here, right? But again, be patient. Um, and let your loved ones know, that communications there'll be a total breakdown of communications here, because what happens, the powers goes out. We experienced it today down on the coast. The power's already out, and so the cell towers are losing power if they don't have backup generator, and you're already losing comms down south of here. I'm losing. If I didn't have the Starlink. With the guy I'm staying with, if you didn't Starlink, and I got a backup in my car, it's coming in the house. I'm protecting it because that's going to be my lifeline to get out of here. The Starlink, there's virtually no communication right now. I mean, the chances of getting a text out right now is extremely almost impossible already. And that's before the hurricane really gets here, because I'm already losing power. So that's what's going on here right now. It's going to get way worse. So anyway, be patient. Just because you can't get a hold of somebody in the coming days or weeks, it doesn't mean something's happened to them. It means they don't have comms. We don't have power. So those kind of things. Those are the kind of things you need to be prepared for. So that's really the biggest thing. Let me look at. I see the couple of comments coming in here. Let's do this here. Yeah. Anybody want to have chats or have anything that you want to talk about? Let's talk about it, and we can see what's going to happen here. I've talked enough here. So anyway, you guys get the message. Yeah, the playing string. That's a great question. So here's multiple problems going on. A lot of people don't experience this. I've experienced it maybe about a dozen times in my life now with big hurricanes, especially you get cat fours and fives. So even though I'm not on the water, we experienced it down the coast today. We had winds to 60, and I was on an overlook area that looked down over the ocean. And because we had rain coming in and those things and the wind blowing, the visibility went to zero. During the height, I'm fully assuming tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., it's the first crack of dawn here. We're going to have blowing rain, and my visibility is going to be about 10 feet at this location here, not even counting the coastal areas. As my winds get to 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 170, gusts to 200, you're gonna have zero visibility. Zero. It's like fog. You won't see 3 feet out your window. I promise you. If you're in the core winds with 150 miles an hour, is what happens when the pressure tanks and it drops dramatically. What happens? The air saturates, right? It saturates. It lowers pressure. The air with it raining, the air saturates and it like creates I call it like almost like a hurricane fog. You're in zero visibility with 150-mile-an-hour winds blowing outside. You will not see. I can sort of stream, and all you're going to see is a white, almost like it's almost like me doing this on my stream without seeing the light there. Right? That's all you're going to see on my stream. You're going to hear some wind, and that's it. Just this is a white count, right? So that's all you're going to see on my stream. So it's basically worthless to try to stream. Uh, if you're 75 or 90-mile-an-hour winds, you're kind of not in the core. Yeah, you'll see some stuff blown around. You'll see stuff flying, debris flying around. You're in the core winds, you're not going to see nothing. That's just a fact. Plan is we'll see if we get in the eye. If we unfortunate getting the eye. I think the eye's going to go west of me here. If the eye comes over, we can actually see the eye. I'll go live that quick. Okay. I'm prepared to do that. I'll be live in 30 seconds. I got everything technically ready. And literally, if the eye where the winds calm down, I see the eye wall approaching me, it's coming over me. Boom, I'm live. Right. We'll see if we can make that happen. I am not going to venture out to go run for the eye. Matter of fact, there'll be so much damage in this area. I'll be lucky to get 10 feet out the door without debris covering everything, right? It's just you're not we got hills here where 15, 20% grades. There's gonna be so much damage. The road's gonna have be washed out. I've already experienced that today. There's gonna be damage. This is not like a landfalling Florida, landfalling Texas where we can drive around, go do things. This is a total different league of chasing, right? If this is a cat one, cat two, ooh, maybe. Not at this level. This is a level that you're not going to be out driving around. It's not happening. So after the damage, hurricane pulls away tomorrow late afternoon, hopefully sometime before sundown in the immediate vicinity here, which I'll be on foot. I will get some live streams up and we'll take pictures and video of the immediate area within probably blocks, not miles, and then we'll figure out from there, right? So anyway, that's kind of the plan right now. I do expect the core damage again coming from the southwest coast down here near and west of Treasure Beach, back west there in Alligator Point, those areas, and coming up as far west maybe as White House, and coming north from there, north northeast. And that area, those are the things I think this is where we're going to have, massive scale damage, right? That's just where it's going to happen, right? So anyway, this is the area we're going to look at. I think that's the area. And let me see if I can get. We'll look at one. There it is. Okay, so Manchester County is just east of me. I'm in St. Elizabeth Parish is where I'm currently located. Okay, so St. Elizabeth Parish, you're definitely going to gun. Westmoreland, you're going to be on the northwest side. You're going to winds on the northwest. If you're over here, Savannah, west of Newmarket, you're going to probably have more of a north-northwest wind as the core is going to go kind of up in this area. Middle quarters, Holland, Boo, look at Walkova. I think you're going to have catastrophic damage there. I think the catastrophic damage is going to be Santa Cruz to just this area. This is core area based on the latest data. This is where it's going to go. So this particular county, St. Elizabeth County, is for all practical purposes at this point in hour and time. It's going to change. This is the county that's going to suffer catastrophic damage. If you live in St. Elizabeth Parish, you need to prepare for power to be out for months or longer and to have catastrophic damage in this county, right? It maybe take weeks to get people in here. I know it's going to take probably 4 or 5 days, 7 days for these roads. You got the kid, and you're going to have water washouts. I'm painting a very dire situation here that's going to unfold. I've been through this, guys, hundreds of times. I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. But this is going to be on a scale. that I don't think anybody in the world has seen before. Definitely not in the United States, because it's just a different your topography here with a high mountain terrain in these roads and these things are going to create tremendous asset recovery problems as we go forward. Is getting moving vehicles in, clearing roadways. Repairing bridges that are going to wash out, repairing roads that are going to be gone from the water cutting through the mountains and cutting paths across the roads. So this is going to be the problem. But right now, current at this time, subject to change. If it moves any farther west, it could be west. The court Westmoreland could be the parish that gets hammered the worst, right? So it's going to be St. Elizabeth Parish, and depending on how it breaks to the right here, Trailway Parish, you're going to be on the north side, um, possibly northwest Manchester County. This is the area. These are the towns. I'm telling you, Jackstown, Danieltown, Coles, Duckus, this area right in here. These are the areas you got it. You got to do extreme safety, or get out and move over to Montego Bay today. Get out of the path. These are the areas that are going to suffer catastrophic, unimaginable damage. I'm going to word it that way: unimaginable damage. You're going to have the worst damage in Jamaica's history. Is literally about 12. We're about 12 hours out. Okay, the clock is ticking. This is what I'm telling you is going to happen. I know it's going to ruffle people's feathers. People don't want to hear it. I get it. I don't want to see it. Um, we can check back in 72 hours, 48, and we'll see. We'll see if my prediction. You're going to also see come Wednesday, Thursday, when the satellites fly over for vegetation, you're going to see a scar mark all the way across right here where the core winds take the trees, debark everything, and the limbs are down. There'll be a white, grayish, brownish scar mark across this green island. You'll see it on satellite. There'll be just this 20, 30 mile wide path of the where the most destructive winds went across. That's the area that's going to have the wherever that makes landfall, right? That's the area that's going to have the most damage, right? Those kind of things. I was going to look at one other thing here, if I can do that. Give me a second here. Let me see if I'm seeing anything that can help us all. The people want to check on me, see how I'm doing. I appreciate that. And by the way, I'm gonna switch cameras here. Um, Not only my gracious host here, Garfield, and his wife, which have been unbelievable. I mean, just unbelievable. This house was built a year ago. It did survive Hurricane Beryl, uh, headwinds of 130 here. So this is it's been tested for a Cat 3. It's got hurricane clips. It's got block walls, concrete center. We got backup power here. We've got solar. We've got batteries. We've got just about everything you can think to be self-sufficient. Um, as long as the solar panels stay on the roof, we're self-contained. We got very good security, and we're totally enclosed, right? So we're good. Uh, this is going to be, those are the things that we're uh, looking at. So I'm scanning X and some different platforms right now to see how this thing's going to act and what it's going to do. I'm just seeing if I can pick up something. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Uh, this looks like came from the hurricane. How do I show you this? This is going to be crazy. What I'm going to show you here. Just say, okay, hurricane hunters apparently shot this morning. This is a picture from the hurricane hunters. There's cat. I don't know if this is when it was Cat 5 or high Cat 4. It doesn't matter. See how you got this rotating wall? It's like a barrel. So this is what's coming. So what's going to happen is this comes over Jamaica, the eye, whether you're in the eye or not, doesn't matter. The outer either side of this eye. I think the eye is roughly about 10 miles, 9, 10 miles wide right now. It might be a little bit smaller because it's got more intensity. So if this eye comes over you, um, if you go outside or you look out the window, if the eye comes over you, uh, it will be like you're in the bottom of a barrel. I mean, you look straight up. This wall here, this eye wall, will be moving. Think of a merry-go-round, and given the fact this is a mid Cat 5, haven't ever experienced this one. Probably either Michael, who had a couple on there have been Cat 5s. As this eye wall comes over you, and you look at the wall, this inner wall here is rotating so fast. You can see like a particular cloud, like right here, and then literally like 5 seconds later, it's over here. Your mind can't fathom how fast the inner eye wall is moving. It's changing by the millisecond. The features of the eye wall, what it's doing. and those things. Another thing I'm going to tell you that's very, 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 very important, probably one of the most important things I'm going to tell you today. As the eye wall, as you hit this northeast eye and the eye passes you and you go into the calm, and this is very important, when the winds die down, 175, and you may get down to, 25, 40 miles an hour, hopefully lower. Once you get back into calmer winds, that you'll hear, it's kind of like, I don't want to use that to be a bad analogy. It's like when you have flying debris, when debris is flying in the air at 150, 175, and it's hitting your house and it's hitting things, it makes horrible noises, right? So as the winds die down, the debris intensity of hitting things will slowly come down. Also, the audible sound, as well as the occasional, I call them, it's missile debris. It's like it's a 2 by 4, it's a tree trunk, it's a limb flying through there, it's hitting your house, and you're boom, boom, and then as the eye approaches, as it gets past you, then you'll hear that debris get softer and softer and softer, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, because you've heard this roar, incredible roar for 5, 6, 7 hours. That's just deafening, unbelievable roar, and this roar coming is like really, really bad to your senses, right? And as that starts to weaken, it's like turning the volume up in your car to 100, and driving in that for 6 hours, you're like, oh my gosh, can't stand it, right? Because the noise is so loud. And then all of a sudden, I start slowly bringing it down to 50, 40, 30, 20 over about an hour's time. And then I'm down to like 5 on the volume level. He's like, wait a minute, that you're trying to adjust, your mind, and you're thinking all that. And then what happens is, when this back west eye wall, and it's curving northeast. So if you get hit in the front eye wall, the eye comes over you. As this back wall approaches, this is really important. You've just There's going to be millions, if not billions, of pieces of debris. Now, I mean billions, but B with a B, billions of pieces of debris from trees, houses, roofs, everything, everywhere, right? What happens is when this back west eye wall, you go from 150, 200 miles an hour right here on this northeast eye wall. You slowly ramp down to calm or near calm winds in the center that may last, depends on the speed of the hurricane. It may last 30 minutes, it may last 15 minutes, it may be an hour, right? Not much more than that. As this back wall approaches with all the debris, you're going to start hearing things off in the distance. It's going to sound like, in the Oklahoma and the plains, if you had big hailfall or something, you hear boom, boom. I can tell you during one of the hurricanes down in Texas, uh, and Ike, we had, and another one down there. We were in a very commercial shopping center area, and with all the debris everywhere, when the back eye wall was approaching us, we could see it on radar and could see it visually because I could see the stars. But this is at nighttime, 11 o'clock at night. When the back eye wall approached, in that particular situation, because we're in a shopping center, a lot of glass had been broke out of all the windows in the shopping center. As that back west wall was approaching us, it sounded like 1,000 wine glasses were breaking on the ground at the same time. You could hear the wall of debris coming from the other direction. Okay. So this is why it's so vitally important, depending on if you're on the northeast eye wall and the debris is going to be going one direction up from the, if you're east of it or northeast or southeast eye wall, it's going to be flying northwestward at a very high rate of speed. You'll calm. And then as this back wall comes in, you'll go southwest, sharply, it'll swing around. You go south southwest, gusting 100, 150, and then all of a sudden you're going to whip as this thing depends on how it bends that way. You're going to whip around to this west northwest wall, and all the debris that's on the ground, it's going to go flying the opposite direction. So you got to think about when this tornado passes you, the hurricane passes you, and you got the debris. The debris is going to be going one direction, and that's going to be the worst part, right? And then you think it's almost over, and now here comes the debris. So if you got to think about how trees are going to fall. If the right front made trees weak and they leaned a certain direction or about to fall on your house, if the winds come out of the west northwest at 125 to 150 back the other direction, you got to think about the debris coming in from the other direction of your house, depending on which direction your house. So if you have debris hitting the back of your house, let's say the east wall, if you're if the hurricane's to your southwest, to your west, to your northwest of you, you're going to debris hitting your northeast, east, and southeast side of your house or building, right? And as it passes, then all of a sudden the debris is going to start coming from the southwest, west, and northwest side of your house as the eye passes. Because all of a sudden now I've got millions of pieces of debris on the ground in you take all that debris that's on the ground now, piles of this, millions of pieces, and it's on the ground, and it's the eyes over you, and so it's all laying on the ground. And then here comes the west southwest winds or west northwest winds, southwest generally, and all of a sudden you got 100, 150-mile-an-hour winds. This debris just goes like this. It doesn't have to be torn loose now. It's everywhere. It's on the ground. It's like literally like taking. Um, it's almost like taking garbage and having it in a bag and then dumping that bag after the hurricane in the eye. It's everywhere, right? You got debris everywhere. And then all of a sudden, here comes the 120, 150, 175, gust of 200 on the backside. And all that debris it just goes rockety like missile debris everywhere, right? It doesn't matter how big it is. It doesn't matter because now you've got millions of these screws, nails, gr- gravel, rock, mangoes, free. You guys got a lot of fruit down here. A lot of fruit. I've already seen stuff in the streets. You get one of those things hitting you in the head, it's not going to be good. So that's the kind of things you got to be thinking about. This is kind of on a different level. Uh, but debris, depending if you're close to the eye or the eye comes over you, you're going to have wind direction is going to be violent in two different directions. You got to think about that debris and what's going to happen after that because that's going to make a big impact on you, right? Um, I'm probably going to wrap this up. I just wanted to share that one deal with you as far as let me see the desserts. Had a little, some plantain and some chicken and rice, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. Uh, the wind started to pick up it started to howl outside. Let me see let me see if he's got the house unlocked here. He may be outside or maybe inside. Wow, I can hear the outside howling. I don't know if you guys can hear it. You can hear those are whistling sounds starting. Yep, let me see if I can unlock this. It may have it's unlocked. Yep, and the wind's picking up. It's not super strong. It's just starting to it's 25, 30 miles an hour. That's not much, right? So it's starting to get a little bit darker back to my south until there's rain squalls moving by. Not too bad. Not too bad. So some of these poles here and utilities are concrete right here, but nearby there's um, I got look at all these power lines right across the street. All these are coming down, right? All this kind of stuff is coming down. It's say hi. Let's say hi to your little friend here. How you doing? He's had a little parent here for a couple weeks. They talked to me earlier today. I was giving it some crackers and some food this morning for breakfast and banana. You did okay? He's like, what have you guys brought me into? He's only had it for a couple weeks. Yeah, he ate the banana, ate that. He's all good. I'm sure. Yeah, I see the wind's starting to. Uh-oh, that was live. I've got. There you go. There you go, guys. That's falling off the tree. There we go. It's starting. It's just going to get. This is nothing. This is like 25, 30-mile-an-hour winds outside. This is pretty much nothing. And the palms already. You look at the coconuts up there, right? Yeah, look at the palms up there. Yep. Yeah, the animals sense the pressure. I saw goats and other animals today. Ferrets running across the road. The goats and the animals down on the coastline were already hiding behind buildings in the deep grass and woods, and they were actually hunkering down. Got pictures and video of that. I tweeted a little bit of that out earlier. Yeah, the animals are sense the pressure's falling. Pressure's falling rapidly on the coast now, and they sense that that something's coming. Right? Yeah, yeah. Guys, what I'm telling you, you just forget the 200-mile-an-hour wind, guys. 100, it's yeah. Can you hear that? I heard things banging already. The neighbor here, great idea. From a construction point of view, he decided to he did it apparently for Hurricane Beryl, and he's staying on. Hello, you doing okay? You gonna talk to me? You all right? He's checking me out. He put straps on his roof, right? That helped during Hurricane Beryl, kept it from breaking, right? Roof lifting up. So not uncommon. So anyway, you get the idea. Yeah. So here's debris. So I'm gonna pretty quick. I got to move. I'm gonna position my vehicle, um, and I got to do the same thing here, depending on which way the eye is, right? So for my location where I'm at, based on Lake's track, the eye should go west of me here about not very far, 9 miles, 10 miles. We're gonna be in the core mega winds here. We're going to be in extreme destructive winds here. Um, Coming off these mountains here, these valleys. I mean, it's we're going to be just below 900 millibars. We're 1,000, 1,500 foot elevation right here, 1,200, I believe, off the top of my head. And when that happens, those winds, those powerful winds, and when you get the rain bands come over, the rain helps bring the winds to the ground, right? The rain bands and thunderstorms helps bring the wind down to the ground because I'll have winds. We'll see how we'll have winds. Again, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll probably have winds at 2,000 feet above my head, above here, 150 gusting to 200 miles an hour. Okay, you have heavy rain with that, and it goes boom. It slams it to the ground. And a couple other hurricanes that had these kind of winds hitting islands with higher elevation, the entire ridge lines will be deforested. It's like a bulldozer went through the forest and like it just mows everything down because that's what big bad hurricanes do with these winds. So it'll be pretty crazy. That's it for right now. We'll may do an update at 11. I'm gonna try to make sure we get rest. And I've got to have cameras mounted everywhere. Like I said, I would not, unless it's not that I don't have the capability. I right now I don't plan unless there's big changes overnight. I don't foresee that. I don't plan to go live in the hurricane, in the eye. If the ice comes over me, where we go partly cloudy or partly clear, then I will go live, right? For 20, 30 minutes, whatever the time allows. But it's basically during the hurricane, you're not going to see, it's going to be like zero visibility. You're not going to see nothing. And I'm going to be talking about things flying and breaking in the air, but you're gonna like, I don't see that. No, you won't. All you can do is you're going to hear things, right? And a lot of times when the big hurricanes, all you see is a blur when it walks by. Do you want to talk? No, I want to go and take a break and come back. Where are we going? You, take a break on here. Oh, you're going to go outside and look. Yeah, I was telling people, well, the good news, bad news. I always have good news and bad news for us. So the good news, let's talk about that. So the good news is it's going to be farther west. Okay. So instead of being 1.4 miles west of us, it's like 10 miles west of us. Oh, well, so instead of it coming through downtown Santa Cruz of the center, it's like 10 miles west of us. But the unfortunate thing is we're still going to be in that right northeast quadrant, and it's going to be the core damage winds, right? Unfortunately. So that's the good news. Well, no, the good news is we may not see the eye. We may not be right in the eye. We might be on the edge of the eye, but we'll see how that works. I accept that. Any good news after that? Yes, I've got great news. You have got solar. I'm so proud of you. You got solar. He's an electrician by the trade. Incredible electrician. So he's got solar, big batteries inside. Yeah, we good. We can run out of power. We good. Got generator right there. Right, generator. Right, a big generator. So we got triple redundancy here. So um, anyway, the key is that and he's got Starlink, and I've got another Starlink with me. So after the hurricane passes, we'll bring Starlink up, start looking at damage on foot. It won't be able to go very far at all, if any. And we'll start looking at immediate one blocker area and do a little bit of stuff. After the damage, and Wednesday maybe a little bit more, but it's going to take weeks I'm sure, to cut past through the mountains and these ridge lines and all that. So that's about it. Looks like another big band back to our southwest is coming in. You see the big heavy rain band. It's coming off that ridge line right there. How high would you, in meters, would you say that ridge line is? If you had to guess. No, it's not a real tall ridge line. Would you say we're on a ridge line here, a little bit of a ridge line over on the east side of Santa Cruz, where we're located at, compared to the surrounding area? We're in the valley of the ridge line, right? But we're not at the bottom. No, we're not at the bottom. So if it floods, and it's going to flood bad down. We're okay here. Yeah, but keep it in the town. Yeah, in the town. Right. Yeah, a lot of bad flood in town. So coming off the mountains toward north and northwest and northeast. But you see the bands, they're ripping. You see the bands flying by. There's a big squall right overhead. Look at this. See that gray? It's like 9 times 1,000 in the morning. So we'll see how this goes out. Anyway, yeah, the landslide's gonna be really bad. So anyway, um, thank you guys. We appreciate everybody. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will check in probably on the 11 o'clock advisory, and we'll see what they if the tracks change, intensities change. It's already Cat 5. It looks, I think it's a mid Cat 5. I think we're going to be really close. 900 millibars, 901, 902, 903 at landfall, a solid mid Cat 5. Winds 170, gusts probably maybe at or just above 200 miles an hour at the coast. And then as it comes in, it'll weaken slowly. But we expect Cat 5 for most of Jamaica, okay, until it gets up to the North Shore. All right, guys, that's it. Yeah, the home was built a couple years back. If there's anything else you guys want to know before I jump off here, uh, feel free to ask now, and I'll try to fill it in. Whether it's a house, I don't know everything about his house, but he's given me a pretty good tour of construction. I can tell you it's a well-built house, and it's um, expected to survive this hurricane, right? But it's going to be pretty intense. I can tell you. I don't know if you guys can hear it. There's because the wind's coming one of these back doors here. You can already hear the wind, the whistle. Yeah, you can hear the whistle. It's probably some vents, right? Uh, yeah, I can already hear the whistling starting. Can you hear the whistle? It's like "Rrr," it's a whistling sound, right? And as the air's flowing through the house, and um, it gets higher, it's going to be one of those really crazy wind sounds, right? All right, guys. So that's it. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for support. And we're not going to be out roaming around on this one. It's just it's extremely dangerous. Even staying in a fortified facility is going to be extremely dangerous. This is an elite like I've never seen before. And I'm not going to kid you. I'm nervous. I mean, I'm nervous. Um, so there's nothing wrong with admitting that. This is a big bad hurricane. This is one for the record, but it's for sure. By the way, this is and some of these. Imagine these flying. We saw these stuff in the road. I mean, there's stuff. I mean, we saw so much stuff. You got so much stuff flying around. It's crazy, right? So anyway, you guys take care. If you need anything, yes, I'm going to get some sleep here. Got to go to bed early, and then um, probably get up sometime around 2 or 3 in the morning. Won't be able to see much and just kind of see what's happening, right? All right, guys, we'll stay positive. Everybody in Jamaica, stay positive. Everybody's with you. And by the way, the Jamaican people have been phenomenal. I must say that 1,000 times. Jamaican people have been phenomenal, not only to me, my encounters with them, very gracious people. Um, these people are going to need a lot of help from all over the world when this is over, for help rebuilding process and supplies, water, meals, food. And I think the number one thing, and this is all said and done, I said this like 48 hours ago, and I stand by what I say, and I'm gonna say it again. The number one need for this island after the hurricane passes is going to be the need for shelter. Okay, shelter, food, and water, right? We all got to have that. That's going to be their number one need. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands, could be 400,000, 300,000. I don't know what that number is going to be, depending on which cities are the most affected and have the most damage in housing in these communities. A lot of these towns that look a little big, they may have 10,000, 20,000 people in. And if you're in that core eye and you have damage, that's going to what people are going to need. They're going to need shelter. They're going to need places to sleep, eat. Um, Not even talking about the rebuilding process. We're just talking about potentially hundreds of thousands of people with no place to go after the hurricane tomorrow, right? If their places are destroyed and those kind of things. So that's going to be the number one need here. It's going to be shelters, food and water, medical. We're going to need, I'm sure we're going to need a massive airlift from U.S. Armed Forces to help evac people out that are injured or possibly need to go to a different location to, you know, um, for help. So anyway, that's going to be a massive concern. So anyway, as soon as the hurricane passes, I hope the cavalry from around the world comes bring it in. I'm sure the airports, Kingston, Montego Bay, but Montego Bay, I'm a little bit more concerned about tonight. As far as I thought they're going to be more safer with the core damage, they're going to be just to the west of the core of the hurricane, so they could sustain more damage than anticipated 24 hours ago. So they may not be, depending on how much damage, both in Kingston and back at that area, maybe the depends on the timing of how fast the resource is coming, because you got to clear the runways, you got to get them open and operating. Even if they don't have power, you can get military operations started with sea cargo planes coming in for food, water, supplies, tents, those kind of things, and bringing aid in, Red Cross, those kind of things. So that's kind of what's going on right now. So anyway, all right, I'm going to wrap it up, and you guys stay safe. We'll give you an update a little bit later. Thank you so much. Bye bye.